Today's kids do not have enough recess time. They lack time outdoors to engage in unstructured, active, student-chosen activities. Students need more recess on a daily basis. Over the past few decades, especially since No Child Left Behind, schools have cut recess time to make room for tests and test prep. In the current era of high-stress and high-stakes testing, students take an average of 112 mandated standardized tests between pre-kindergarten and 12th grade. With the increased focus on standardized testing and other time pressures, schools have lengthened the hours that students stay in their seats and cut the minutes they swing across playgrounds. Expanding recess benefits students physically, socially, and emotionally, and these benefits carry over into the academic realm. There's substantial evidence that students given recess work more and fidget less, which leads to more efficient use of instructional time. Students should be given time for recess rather than sitting still for extended periods of time. Research has been done that links opportunities to engage in physical activity with better grades and higher test scores.
It is descriptive work on the benefits of recess, and it shows that kids do benefit academically from recess and also socially. It's particularly pronounced for boys in early childhood, that recess appears to matter more for boys than for girls in terms of the academic benefits and social benefits. Also, people who study social and emotional learning talk about how this unstructured recess experience gives kids a chance to practice the social and emotional skills that they're developing, and so that's viewed as really an important experience for kids, so that they're actually kind of using those skills to navigate social relationships and play games, organize games and things like that. So it's kind of reinforcing those skills. A lot of the principles about why recess matters probably pertain to all students, that it gives kids an academic break and there's an opportunity for physical activity. And so I can't see that as just being something that would be specific to elementary school, that it would also be useful for middle school and high school. But in elementary school, it's particularly important. Places that have gotten rid of recess haven't seen any benefits from doing that. I wonder about teachers' mental health, that when kids have recess, they are better behaved in class. There are fewer classroom management challenges, and also it gives teachers a shift from the more academic curriculum. One element is that more shorter recesses appears to be better than like one very long recess. Okay. Like you wouldn't want to go with like one long recess a day. It's better to have the short breaks in elementary school. So the climate of the school and the climate of the classroom really matters a lot for how kids use their social and emotional skills.
Not only do research professionals believe in the importance of recess, but teachers, administrators, parents, and students do too. We asked several people their thoughts about the time students currently receive for recess.
Recess is important because a lot of our kids, specifically our kids, but most kids don't get out enough during the outside time. So just being outside and having fresh air is important, and also, of course, the exercise, the make-believe play. I think anymore, so many parents work. Kids are going to daycare after school. They're going to after school. They're going to a babysitter. And maybe they're not getting that kind of outside time because their parents are coming home too late, and then they're getting dinner and homework and all that.
Right.
So just having an opportunity to make sure that kids are going out every day is just really important. I definitely feel it would be ideal if we had two like recess chunks a day, like 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon, something like that. That would be ideal. Certainly breaking up two strong content areas where the kids are going to be doing a lot of sitting and whatnot. But yes, I think, like doing something after literacy or something after math, or before you, like maybe after specials, before you actually sit down to do something where you're expecting the kids to really start focusing and whatnot, having that time to go outside. Really, it would be awesome to have 30 to 40 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Like 15 or 20 minutes in the morning and then same in the afternoon. Really nice days, I'll often opt out to let them go out for free outside for recess in the afternoon versus free choice. In reality, it's how do you squeeze everything in?
Right.
It becomes a time issue. Last,
I like recess because you can play and like move your legs around and not really sit in the chair all day. I think it helps me in school because you can have physical activity and not be so bored if you don't have it, and you can concentrate better. If we did not have recess, then I think I wouldn't be so concentrated in school because you need it to have like a brain break.
Recess is important simply because it gets kids moving. Research has shown that once kids are kinesthetically moving, it helps their brains, it helps them think, it helps them be more settled once they're in the classroom. So much of their school day is stationary when they're at their seats or in the classroom. So just having them to be able to get outside and have that social aspect of school is just such an important part of their development. As an administrator, so when I make the master schedule, I think the biggest part is that we're such a large school, and so the biggest thing we have to account for is not having too many kids on the playground at once, especially like having fifth graders with first graders just of size. Like they don't even mean to, they just get so excited and they run them over. And so we kind of put parameters around the windows in which they can go to recess, but I think we've kind of worked out, for example, third grade, because they have the nice space right outside their classroom doors, they can kind of go to recess at any time, and we even installed a basketball hoop out there. Teachers are really good about, if they understand that their classes need individual breaks, all the doors have access to the outside, so they just take them out really quickly and go. And I think just also the amount of instruction and content that students need to cover, especially the upper grades, kind of limits the amount of time that we can say, okay, we'll go to recess. But like I said, when we understand that kids need it, they need that physical space to go out and explore and to play and socialize, we really try to accommodate that for them.
When we compare the amount of time students in the United States spend at their desks per day to other countries, the statistics are shocking. The average amount of time U.S. students have for recess per day is 20 minutes. While this may sound reasonable, keep in mind that students are in school for 7 hours per day. That's 420 minutes of school, and only 20 of those are unstructured playtime for students. In comparison, elementary schools in Finland attend school for 5 hours per day, and they have 1 hour and 15 minutes of recess. Similar to Finland, Japan follows a schedule in which students receive 50 minutes of instruction and 10 minutes of recess afterwards, with an additional 20-minute recess around lunchtime, although the length of Japan's school day is more similar to the United States. As a result of this, a higher percentage of classroom time in Japan is devoted to academic activities, according to the Elementary School Journal. Japanese students are engaged in classroom learning 83% of the time, whereas American students stagger in at 64% of time engaged. Students have more unstructured playtime, they're more engaged in instruction. When students cut recess time short to save instructional time, they are only working against themselves and their students. To expand recess, schools need to get creative. Following an instruction to recess rotation like Finland and Japan is one solution. Providing students with an opportunity for physical play after a session of instruction improves students' focus in the classroom. For schools that argue that lack of space limits their recess time, this is where the creativity comes in. Utilizing areas of the school such as the empty gym, the soccer field, or even the courtyards in the school provides students with extra areas for unstructured play. Schools can also capitalize on downtime to provide students with more recess. Instead of sitting at their desks after pack-up, students could have extra time on the playground while they wait for their buses. Recess becomes a priority. Students' focus in the classroom improves, they develop social and emotional skills, and instructional time becomes less of a battle and more effective.